Good morning. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing my first what sold for last week, which would be Monday through Thursday, April 11th through the 14th. A lot of sales to share. A lot of them are in my bread and butter range, a little bit more. Had some amazing sales though too, so just, I had probably my biggest sale was actually on Facebook Marketplace. So, don't be afraid to list on there. I list anything and everything on there. I don't do a whole lot of plush on there unless it's like character stuff. They just don't seem to move on there. But I do try to list a lot of my smalls, my little people, Paw Patrol, all of those types of things. If you're new to my channel, I do use List Perfectly to cross list. Everything starts on eBay, and then I cross list to Mercari, Etsy, Poshmark, and Facebook Marketplace. And then I also have a Bonanza account, but it automatically integrates with eBay. So everything on eBay is also on Bonanza, but it's been slow for me on there. I think where I was ending everything and doing sell similar, I think it just kind of slowed it down, but I'm not doing that this month. I've had a new strategy I've tried this month and it seems to be working for me. My sales are up for this month, but last month was so slow. It is what it is. All right. I am surrounded by stuff. We've had 2 amazing weekends of sourcing. I am trying to get it worked on, get it processed, get it out of this room and moved over to the building. We're going to be probably, maybe not this week, but next week, we're going to start trying to move the clothes that are being stored in here out to the other building. I have a 30 by 50 building. eBay is actually on one part of it, which is 20 by 30. And we've decided we're going to go ahead and start using the other side also, because I'm growing beyond my space at this point. And I really need this room to be a working room and not the clothes. So I think I'm up to, I want to say 1,200 listings or so on eBay for clothing. This past year was our first year ever doing clothing. And it's a good supplement. When things are down in one niche, I'm selling in other niches. Stuffed animals is always going to be my main niche. I haven't even looked recently, but I think at some point I had about 5,000 listings for stuffed animals. And then everything else was all kinds of different things. But like this past week, the Monday through Thursday, I had 12 clothing sales on eBay and 2 on Posh. Posh is down for me right now. It's like I just started on Posh. I got like a honeymoon period maybe on there that first month. I made quite a few sales with as few listings as I had, and then it's been a little bit slow. I think I have one thing for this whole weekend on Posh, but it is what it is. All right, because like I said, almost all of my sales are on eBay. This other stuff is just, filling in. But, in the end, it all adds up for me. So if you considered cross-listing, I do have a coupon code down in the descriptions. It's the Rebel Reseller, one word. And I think you get 30% off the first month. So give it a try. See if it's something that you're interested in. All right, let me get started. I've got quite a few, so I try to pick a variety of things. I show you my bread and butters, and then I show you, quite a few of the things that have sold that might surprise people, because I always get comments on my channel that they can't believe that, plush and toys sell for the amount that I'm showing you. All right, first item. I'm pretty sure I picked this up at the bins. I actually found it at 2 different times, and then I talk about that a lot. I list even my smalls on eBay, and then as I find stuff to go with them, I end them, change it, and then up the price. So this was a Playskool Muffin Pan. I actually had 2 of them and only 1 muffin. It took a while to sell. You've got to be looking for that person, you know, that needs this item. It probably goes to some kind of kitchen system or anything like that. But it sold for $7.95. Also, I don't do free shipping, so the buyer also paid additional for the shipping. This is Animal Alley. It's a white Persian cat, kind of large, 14 inches. Oops. I have a cheat board over here that tells me what it actually sold for, and it's shifting. It sold for $19.95. I picked these up, but they kind of are slow movers, but if I'm picking them up for a quarter or 50 cents, especially at the bins, they don't weigh a whole lot. I try, if I've got 2 different ones, to make small lots. There's several in this series. I ended up taking a best offer of $8 for the 2 of them, but they're out the door. This is vintage. This is my first love right here, the vintage plush. This one did not have a tag on it, so I'm not quite sure who the manufacturer was. It was that stiff bodied stuff. Yellow duck, 12 inches, and it sold for a best offer of $16. This is from the Smithsonian's. It's a whole series. They're called sound prints. Not quite sure what that's all about. Very small plush. It listed probably within a week of me. It sold for probably a week of when I listed it, and it sold for best offer of $8. I picked this up at a local thrift store. We had never been in there before, and I bought quite a bit there. This is Durham Industries. It was a little die-cast metal stove for a dollhouse. Packaging had some issues, and it took probably a year to sell, which I'm fine with that. I'm all about the long tail items. I'm okay. I have the space. I have room to grow. It's good. But I ended up taking a best offer of $10 for it. This is Dakin, one of my favorite brands. It's a orangutan mom with her baby from 1979. There's a whole series of mommy and baby type things. I think I have a cheetah, maybe leopard. I've recently sold a dog with its puppy, and then this is the orangutan, and it sold for best offer of $20. I think I sold this the same day I listed it. It's Peter Rabbit from Just Play from 2018. Just another one of my bread and butters. I took a best offer of $8. I've been trying to get into some of my death pile boxes. Behind me over here, behind the board, is a lot of my organized chaos. I try to sort things by categories, and then every once in a while I'll go grab a box or a bag or a basket and sort through it. I don't remember where I got these from. Probably the bins. They were in like a sandwich bag all together. Google Lens told me that they were called Zoobles by Spin Master. I had 6 of them, and they sold probably the same week I listed them, also for $12.17. This is Hug and Love llama. Of course, I put the word alpaca in there. I love to pick up the plush that have the bunny rabbits. They tend to do really well for me. This llama sold for $18.75. A lot of this that I show, I pick up really cheap at yard sales and the Goodwill bins. So I'm paying by the pound. And this llama sold for $18.75. This I picked up, I believe, at a consignment sale. I might have paid $5 for her. I remember Google Lensing her to figure out who she was. I knew she was Madame Alexander. I did not know at the time that she was Eloise at the Plaza. Sold her for best offer of $42. This is a Grateful Dead bear plush. There's a whole series of these. There's the small beans like this one. It's 6.5 inches. Most of them were made by Stephen Smith. This one was missing its collar. So it did take a little while to sell, and I ended up selling it for the $9.35. But definitely keep your eyes out. There's a whole series. I think they're about 12 inches, and they sell amazingly well. I think I picked this up at the Goodwill bins. I pick up all doll bottles, pacifiers, clothes, any type of accessory, and then I try to figure out what dolls they went to. This one was to the Lovabella doll. It was a magnetic type pacifier, and it sold for best offer of $15 just for a little plastic pacifier. These next 3 orders was from a viewer, so thank you very much, Anne, for buying these. She bought these 3 items and spent $24.29. She picked up the Peppa Pig Brother plush by Jazzwares, this Precious Moments Lovey. I'm all about the Loveys. And then this very cute German teddy bear. So thank you again, Anne. Definitely keep your eyes out for this. This is a Heffalump from Winnie the Pooh. This one was dated 2004, Fisher Price, but he's corduroy. So watch for him because he sells much better than the regular Heffalump that's just plain plush. This one sold for a best offer of $25. I did have the price high, but when I get offers, I always make it an opportunity to check what the current solds are looking like, the current listings, because a lot of my items are long tail, and I've listed them at the price point that I felt was correct at the time I had it listed. This is a Carter's Child of Mine baby blanket. Probably picked it up at a consignment sale. I usually pay $2 or $3 for them. I haven't been buying a whole lot of them this year, but I need to start, especially at yard sales, watching for them. A lot of times they're stained. This one I do think it had its tag still, and it sold for $17.81. This is a Hallmark pink giraffe plush. I think I picked it up recently, or I did pick it up recently, maybe at the bins this last trip, but maybe at a yard sale. It sold for $14.05. This is a Russ Claiborne puppy puppet, obviously vintage. I love to pick up puppets. Sometimes I put them in small lots, but a lot of times these vintage ones I just list separately. And this puppet sold for $12.17. I think I got it at the Goodwill bins. This is another plush that had been listed for a while. I think I picked it up at the Goodwill bins, but maybe in the Asheville one sometime last year. It sold for the $28.15. It was oversized, so the shipping is always an issue when you have them. Definitely though, if your item does not fit in the largest priority box, pre-pack it, or at least know what size box you're going to ship it in. I buy a lot of the 16 by 12 by 8 boxes. I'm pretty sure the eBay store has that size also. And then I have a couple of boxes that are a little bit larger for the larger plush. That way you have the dimensional weight and measurements in there. This is a Kelly Toy Rabbit. There's several of these in different colors. But again, I like rabbits, so I pick up almost all of them. This one sold for $12.17. I think I got this at an estate sale. It may have been in one of my Goodwill bins bags. I've been processing so much, it's hard to keep them straight anymore. But this is by Toy Factory, which I think is a lower quality brand, but they do a lot of characters. This one was called the Three Little Racing Pigs, and it sold for $14.05. This is an Aurora Gray Wolf Husky Dog. I use all of those keywords. 12 inches. definitely when you see Huskies and Wolves, there's some that sell for quite a bit in certain brands. This one I think did very well. Also, it sold for $23.45. This is also Kelly Toy Gray Elephant Plush. It is a mommy and a baby elephant set. Again, 24 inches long, but it was squishable, so I'm sure I listed it in the large priority box. A lot of times some of these plush are stuffed with that thick, they're just stiff, and you're not going to be able to squish them down or cause damage. But this elephant sold for $21.57. This is a Hallmark Easter Bunny rabbit. Again, I pick up all. This one did have its tag. Excellent condition. It sold for $12.17. Baby starters, they put out a lot of rattle plush and loveys. I tend to pick up any and all of them. This was just a cute little Christmas bear, and it sold for $9.35. Thai Paw Patrol. These, I forget what they're called, but they were just the little plush like this. I think I had one of them listed, and again, it was one of those ones where I ended it, and when I found two more of them, I added it to it. They sold for $12.17. This is Mattel Bubble Guppies. This was the Sing and Sparkle Molly. There was a time when Bubble Guppies sold very well for me. They're just kind of, I don't think as popular anymore, but I still picked them up. She did work, and she sold for $14.05. I'm pretty sure I picked her up at the Goodwill bins. Coffee carafes, I picked them up when they are in good condition, especially when they're in the box. I think I picked up a couple of them at an estate sale this weekend. But Bun seems to do pretty good. This carafe sold for $10.29. This is Animal Adventure Pink Rabbit Plush from 2019. Obviously, I have two of them. I sold this one for $12.25. Fisher-Price Seahorse Plush. I pick these up all the time. Just another bread and butter item. The good thing with them is the battery pack that's inside the light thing is removable, so if they're dirty, they can still be easily washed. This one does light up and play music, and it sold for $9.35. I see these a lot at yard sales for like a quarter or 50 cents. Now this questionable buy, standing in line at an estate sale, I just thought there was a whole pile of plates, these plates, and then there were some very ornate bowls on top of it. The bowls seemed dirty, but when I got them home, I realized they weren't just dirty. They were sun damaged. They had yellowed. So they're in my booth, probably for $5 or $10. I think there were 3 or so of them. I paid $25 for the whole stack. These were beautiful, just the scalloped edges and floral. They were by MZ Austria. Again, out of my wheelhouse, but I'm willing to try anything as a learning opportunity for me to figure out stuff. This sold for $52.25. So I made my money back. Plus the bowls are still at my booth. These are Kelly Toy Squishmallows. I picked them up at the Goodwill store in the town. I think I had a doctor's appointment or something, and I went ahead and stopped at several of the thrift stores there. This was just a bat and the devil. I decided to keep them together. They were the 8-inch size, did not have the paper tags, which seems to be really important to some collectors. Got a whole bunch of lowball offers, sent out a bunch of offers to likers, and I ended up taking a best offer of $28 for the 2 of them. This is Perfection by MJC, another vintage brand. This one was from 1988. I either picked this up at a consignment sale or at the Goodwill bins. I love that brand. and I took a best offer of $12 for this. I pick these up at estate sales whenever they are, you know, a quarter or 50 cents. This was a first year elephant chime ball. It had a made in Hong Kong on there. Only 4 inches tall, 4¼ inches. It was listed for a while. It did have lots of discoloration and yellowing and wear. Ended up still selling it for $12.17. This is Tommy Pikachu from 2017. Took a little while to sell this also. Not all Pokemon plush are created equal. This one I ended up taking a best offer of $9 on, but I'm sure it was probably at the bins, so very cheap. This, Robert picked this up the first time he ever went to the Goodwill bins in St. Louis. He bought me several of these. This one did have its paper tag. It was from 1991. It's called Love Bunch. I had a buyer send me a message asking if I could do better on the shipping. I told her because of the paper tag, I did want to ship in a box. She was, I think, using a freight forwarder. She sent me a message saying it's okay to mail it in a poly bag. She wasn't too worried about the paper tag getting damaged. So I did that for her, but I keep copies of all those messages just so that if she comes back and says something was damaged because it was mailed in a poly bag, you know, I've done what she requested. I've not had any issues doing that, and I have not heard from her. But again, she may not have received it yet because I think it was a freight forwarding order. But I ended up selling her for $34. Not bad. Robert did well. And then this is the last eBay order I was going to talk about. I think I picked up a bag of this bag. It was all in a sandwich bag at the Goodwill bins. This was vintage Barbie clothes. I'm going to do some more research. I know that I'm probably underselling when I do lots like this because I'm not taking the time. I do have a Barbie case and vintage stuff that I picked, that a friend gave me, and I've picked up 2 more bags, gallon-sized bags of Barbie clothes, and then I think I bought some more this weekend at a yard sale. So I'm going to do a lot of research to start figuring out Barbie, because I think there's a whole lot of money to be made there, and I've never taken the time. But had a whole bunch of offers on this, sent out a whole bunch of offers on this, and it ended up selling for the $36.61. So I was very happy. I think the draw on this was probably the mermaid outfit, but it could be the number of shoes, not quite sure. All right, I did have quite a few Facebook Marketplace orders. It's like the ebb and flow. I'll have quite a few, and then I have none for a while. But it's all right. I've got tons listed there, and I'm hoping eventually they'll figure out what's wrong, because I see lots of posts about it, and then the sales will pick up again. All right. This was a Lion King Broadway baby Simba plush. I've picked up a couple of these at the bins and at consignment sales. This one sold for $13 on Facebook. This was a Disneyland Alice in Wonderland coffee cup. Pretty sure I picked this up recently at an estate sale for $1 or 50 cents. It sold for $10. This was a Dandy Laurel's Attic bear plush, very small. It sold for $8. I've had these listed on eBay forever. I'm pretty sure I picked them up at the Goodwill bins in Asheville. It was just a gallon bag full of these vintage Wilton cake toppers. Finally sold them on Facebook Marketplace for $12. These, I had a hodgepodge. I had a few listed individually or in small lots, and nothing was selling. So again, it was one of those, I went in, I found some more either at the Goodwill bins or at a yard sale. I decided to end all of my Snow White figures and just make a lot. It's various manufacturers. Some are more current, some are vintage. I just really wanted them to be gone. So I finally sold them on Facebook Marketplace for $13. And then this, I think, is my big sell of the week, and it's on Facebook. This. I'm pretty sure I picked this up at one of the recent consignment sales I went to. I paid either $5 or $8 for the bag of Lion King characters. These were, several of them were from the battle fighting series. I think you could push a button and their mouths did stuff. I know Scar was. There was paintwear. There was all kinds of, just they've been played with. Went ahead and listed them high, and they sold on Facebook for $90. I think the draw on this was Mufasa and Scar. This was my one and only sale on Mercari. They're becoming more frequent, but still not where I want them to be. This was a Build-A-Bear polar bear. I think somebody sent me a message asking, or an offer asking if I would take $7, and definitely out the door. This was my one and only Etsy sale for that time period. I don't have a whole lot listed there. I need to. It's just right now I've been focusing on cross-listing a bunch to Poshmark, because that seems to be the most promising for me as far as additional sales above and beyond eBay. But this was a Mighty Star Garfield plush, 10 inches, very unique. It was just kind of that laying flat from 1996, and it sold for $18. And then, like I said at the beginning, I had 2 clothing sales on Posh, and then these 2 toy sales. I am slowly but surely trying to list hard goods there, and stuffed animals and toys also. But this was an angel deer lovey. It was a blue camo dog. It sold for $28 on Posh. And then this Barrington Bear, it's a lovey security blanket, but it was like a mat, 29 inches long, and it sold for $15 on Posh. So I think excellent sales. I'm hoping to get a whole bunch of stuff processed this week. It's just been amazing, all the sourcing. I haven't been able to touch my Goodwill bins bags in a couple of weeks because I'm just trying to keep up with all the other stuff right now. But it's like my profit pile for when things start getting slow for me. If I don't get to go sourcing for whatever reason, that was the purpose of going, to always have merchandise to work on, so that the algorithms get fed and everything's happy. Plus, I'm trying to get back to an anchor store. That's my ultimate goal. All right, bye.